You've gone to the area to look for your sister. Tell us what you want to get out there, because we want to help find your sister, Olivia.
That's what I want to get out there. I just want my sister to come home. I just want to find her safe, and I just want her to come home. That hits the head on the nail.
I just want you to know that I understand you're going through a hellish time, a crisis, and our hearts go out to you. We want to be helpful. That's why we explore the facts, because by seeing your sister's face there, maybe somebody knows something. How did you get the call? How did you find out that your sister was missing?
My brother-in-law, Michael, her husband, called me and asked when the last time I had talked to her, because the Fort Bragg had contacted him trying to find her when she didn't show up on Monday. And then from there, we came here immediately to find her.
Have you been looking around the area, this Froggy Bottoms? Have you been looking around that area looking for her?
Personally, I've not. I'm letting the police do their job the best that they can. I'm not trying to heed the investigation. I want them to do everything they can to find my sister, and I'm trying to do my part just to get her home. Well,
good for you. I want to ask you this question. Does her husband live with her at Fort Bragg, or how does?
That's a question that I can't answer.
Okay. Well, let's try to piece together the key facts from Kelli's last known whereabouts. Friday night, Kelli goes to the bar. Like a lot of 23-year-olds, you need to relax, have a little time off after working. It's called Froggy Bottoms. She's last seen leaving the bar Saturday morning at 1:20 a.m. And then the entire weekend goes by before the Fort Bragg officials report her missing to the police on Monday morning. So my concern is why the delay. Those first 24 hours are absolutely crucial. Olivia, have the authorities out there given any indication as to why they waited from, it's Friday night essentially, into Saturday morning, 1:20 a.m. Saturday morning. So Saturday day, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Saturday, she would not have turned up. Is there any explanation as to why we were told about this case until Monday morning? That's 48 hours.
No, ma'am. As soon as we found out that Kelli was missing, everybody jumped into action as soon as we knew that Kelli wasn't where she was supposed to be.
Joanna Henson, the mother of this... Jonna, Henson, my apologies. The mother of this beautiful missing Kelli Bordeaux. Tell us about your daughter. We can see from her picture that she is beautiful, and we know she's petite, 99 pounds, 5 feet tall, 23 years old. We understand she is married. What else can you tell us about her, because this information may be important to somebody?
Yeah, she's very outgoing. She's very goal-oriented. Like I say, I can't imagine someone wanting to hurt her. She's very likable. Everyone, that comes in contact with Kelli loves Kelli. She's a fun person to be around. And I just can't imagine this is it's even happening right now.
I'm so sorry.
It's hard to believe. I just can barely function without knowing where my daughter is at this point.
I'm so sorry. There's no words. Honestly, Jonna, there's no words. Our hearts go out to you. We want to be helpful. This is a race against time.
Yes.
Have police told you anything? Because they have said something public that is a little disturbing, but we're searching for the truth. So that's the only reason we repeat anything that might feel hurtful at all. The police are saying there is some information we've gathered that makes us concerned for her safety. That's from the Fayetteville police. What have they told you? Why did they say that?
I'm not exactly sure. They've told me that they think someone picked her up and, took her to the bar, and she had a good time at the bar and, did karaoke and was just acting silly and having fun. And then supposedly someone was going to give her a ride home from the bar. But that's where the story doesn't, I think, quite add up. that I don't think she got home from the bar, and supposedly the person that dropped her off, something supposedly spooked her in the car. He told them one time that something spooked her, that she didn't want to get out of the car, but yet she got out of the car, and that's the part I don't understand. If something spooked her, why would she get out of the car and go, forward?
You're saying something spooked her about what? About the person she was with? Wait, I don't understand. I don't understand the spooking. This might be important. You're saying, when did something spook her?
Supposedly when the guy that was giving her a ride home was taking her to her apartment. He got to her apartment and something spooked her, so she didn't want, or she said, no, just let me out here, instead of taking her, like, around the corner to her apartment or, whatever. But I don't understand that. If someone creepy or was spooked her, she wouldn't get out of the car.
Well, wow. Pat Brown, criminal profiler, it sounds like they've spoken to the person. Don't quote me here in the sense that I don't know. I'm just trying to extrapolate. It sounds like they may have spoken to the person who drove her home, who gave police this information, that something spooked her, so she said, let me out somewhere else, and that's the last time she was seen. What do you make of it, Pat Brown?
Well, I think, Jane, they're going to have to look at a number of directions. First of all, whether that guy's story has any truth to it, or he's just making that up. Secondly, whether she did get out someplace and somebody was walking along or coming along with a vehicle, a stranger. And they also have to look at the fact that maybe she didn't want to be seen arriving home with this man in the vehicle, and that's what spooked her, so she wanted to get out someplace else and then walk in, not having the car and that person connected with her. So I think they got a bunch of angles to look at, and they're going to have to look at them all equally.
Well, Jonna Henson, I have to ask you, does your daughter live with her husband? We just need to clarify that. This could be important. I'm not trying to embarrass. She's a private first class. I have no idea how that operates. Is she able to live with her husband or not?
Right, yeah. Her and Michael live in the apartment there in Fayetteville. He was down in Florida visiting with his father that lives in Florida.
So
but he was presumably coming back. I mean, they were having some marital problems, but the person that drove her home wasn't, any kind of person to her. I think he was just a friend of hers.
So she wasn't stationed on the base. She was living in an apartment off the base?
Right.
Okay, with her husband.
Right.
Mark Aguilar, your thoughts?
Well, first, my heart goes out to Miss Henson. I would obviously focus on the person who drove her home. I would look for video surveillance. I'm no fan of Big Brothers, but in a case like this and the ones we talk about, Jane, more cameras available. I'm hoping in the future we're going to know and be able to solve these crimes instantly simply by ordering videotape.
Absolutely. And John Liebman, investigative reporter, let's see that map again. You see that there's the bar, there's the base, and what do you make of it? Because we're getting some interesting information from...
Yeah, well,
Mom.
Police have clearly canvassed the area and talked to people. One thing they're going to zero in on is this marital relationship. They need to rule out the husband as a potential suspect, but they're talking to people who know Kelli and her husband, too, so they can help build a narrative not only of that night, but of all of the circumstances of this disappearance.
Jonna Henson, have you spoken to your daughter's husband?
Yes, I have, Michael, yes.
And what does he tell you?
He's in a
waiting
panic.
for her?
I mean, he was in Florida when that happened and when she went missing, and he's beside himself. I don't think he's a point of interest at all. He loved my daughter deeply, deeply, and I don't think he's got anything to do with it at all.
Oh, yeah, listen, if he's in Florida, he's not in North Carolina. He has nothing to do with it. You've determined that he was in Florida, then that's fine. We always look at the immediate people around a person who disappears.
Right.
Jonna, one of the best things we can do for you is to do this story over and over. That's how often these cases get solved. I'm hoping you'll come back tomorrow and appear on camera with us and help us keep your daughter's picture out there. And we're going to do some investigating on this end and see what we can find by talking to people who might have been at the Froggy Bottoms. So will you join us tomorrow so we can continue searching together for your daughter?
I'm probably going to be in Fayetteville tomorrow. I'm making arrangements now to get there, to do whatever I can.
Our hearts go out to you. We will